Alright, so now we are here on the ground at Salt Lake City. Identifier is Kslc in a Boeing 777-200 LR with Delta Airlines livery. So let's start up the aircraft. We start by turning on the battery, and 3 lights turn on, 2 for the Pmdg breakers and 1 for the brake source. Starting up the APU, so we'll flick this knob to the start position, on, and then start, springs back to on, and we'll wait for the APU to spool up. Meanwhile, what I can do is guard the arm lights so we get some lighting in the cockpit. So I'll close the guard and the switch moves to the arm position from off, and we get some cockpit lighting. Let's start moving from the top here. We'll turn on the aileron so that it can start aligning. APU is on. I'll turn on the dome lights, medium, and then high intensity. And all these switches on the electricals look good for now. So these are the default positions. Once they are connected, once the engines are running and supplying electrical power, these off lights will go off. Emergency lights, guard switch is armed, and hydraulics, we will turn them on later. I'll set the seat belts to on. Master brightness for the panel lights, I'll turn them to max bright. And we don't need any of these lights here. Coming over to the engines, fuel jettison, fuel pump. So you see now the APU is taking fuel from the left forward tanks, so we do not have the pressure light illuminated on that. But once we start up the engines, we'll press this switch to turn on the fuel pump. And since the APU is running, we can turn on the nav light, we can turn on the logo and the wings light, and we can turn on the packs, left pack and right pack for the air conditioning. And let's come here to the glare shield. I'll turn on the VOR left, VOR right. Light directors, turn them on. I'll switch this to 1000. And for the first officer, VORs, light director is on. I will wait just for the panels to light up, and you can see time to align 5 minutes. That was the audio test. One, 2, 4.75 is for the ATIS. So let's try the ATIS frequency. Sometimes it works on this network, sometimes it does not. So that is 124.75. Looking at the chart, I have switched that to the active position. And now I will turn the reception by pressing this knob, left VHF, that is this one. And because we will be transmitting on the left VHF, I'll turn on the mic. Seems I cannot hear anything, so let me try the clearance delivery frequency. Yeah, this seems to be working. Alright, let's move to programming the FMS. So we'll go into FMC. We have the out of date because that's 2017. So 777200. Clear that. Go to position initialization. Still calculating the position. Time to align, so it has the GPS position, and we can enter that, which is the most accurate. We can enter that into the inertial position. Reference airport is Kslc, and the route Kslc to billing slogan. That is Kbil. Enter that into destination. I'm expecting runway 16 left. We'll enter that later. And then we can fill up the route after we get the clearance. So I move on to the performance index. Performance, zero fuel weight, whatever is calculated by the Pmdg. 185 tons, that's in kilograms. We are using kilograms here. Reserves, I'll keep it as 6 tons, about 2 hours of fuel. Cruise altitude 310, flight level 310, and cost index, I'll keep that at 100. Want to be a little bit fast. Thrust limit, we have APU, we have the APU running, so I'll set that for the APU. That gives us 103.9 and 1. Slightly less than what we saw on the 777, which was about 104, if I remember correctly. Takeoff flaps 15 and CG, giving us a trim of 5.5. Now to move the trim, I will need the hydraulics. So if I try moving the trim, it does not change that. So if I move this, it does not move the trim on the horizontal stabilizer. I need to turn on the hydraulics for that, but we'll do that later. Normal ICAS messages, we can cancel that by clicking the cancel on the
415 to maintain for level 240.
And since I have filed my flight plan, I can call for the clearance.
Seattle Center, Arrow 32106 on the ground at Kslc City. Cancel IFO. Arrow 32106, IFR cancellation received. Have a good rest of your night. See you, buddy. Thanks for the help as always, 32106. See you, man.
Delta 232. So we are in Delta 232. I put that in the flight number.
That's it, call again.
Delta 232.
No, roger. Nope, the VFR altitude discretion, sir.
Good evening, Salt Lake clearance. Delta 232 with information Zulu to pick up our IFR clearance to billing slogan.
Delta 232, Salt Lake clearance cleared to the Billings Airport Rugged 1 departure hold through transition that is filed. Maintain 10,000, departure frequency 135.5, squawk 3045, maintain 230 knots until advised.
Delta 232 cleared to Salt Lake via the Rugged 1 departure, halter, and then as filed, climb and maintain 10,000. Departure frequency 135.5, squawk 3045, and maintain 230 knots until advised.
Delta 232, just want to make sure you heard 135.5, 35.5 for departure. Rest read back was correct.
135.5 for departure, Delta 232.
Arterial Fox, direct contact Phoenix approach 128.65.
Okay, so now
128.65.
we have the departure frequency 135.5. I can tune that in.
Aspen ground, Skywest 5745 is ready to taxi with information, Romeo.
135.5, I'll keep that there. Yes,
Scout 5745, Aspen ground, runway 33, taxi via Alpha.
10,000.
33 via Alpha, Skywest 4745.
And
Big approach evening, King Air 2, Romeo Fox, 13-5 descending into Phoenix VFR with the numbers.
departure 16 left.
King Air 2, Romeo Fox, Phoenix approach, the Phoenix altimeter 2997, cleared on the Phoenix class Bravo airspace, maintain VFR. Are you parking north or south side tonight?
We're going to Cutter, so south side, and cleared in the Phoenix class Bravo for 2 Romeo Fox shot.
Perfect. King Air 2, Romeo Fox, make straight in, runway 7 right.
Jennifer 7 right, 2 Romeo Fox. Appreciate it, Matty.
So right
Oh,
now
you know it, buddy.
we do not have
Northwest Tower,
rugged 1 departure.
I got Charlie, 3 my final, 1-3.
So what we can do is
Number 765 Golf Charlie,
I
runway
got the
13, clear to
waypoints
land.
from Open Nav
1-3 clear to land,
for
5 Golf
the
Charlie.
different points, so enter those points as
Flight
waypoints.
5266, contact Phoenix approach, waypoint 65.
So you go to the legs page, start with the first waypoint, which is Bobby. Bobby is north 41, 02 minutes,
Approach
0.5,
today, and flight 5266,
West
leveling 12,000 with Charlie.
00,
Flight 5266, Phoenix approach, the Phoenix altimeter 2997. Thank you for Charlie. Turn left heading 060, vectors visual approach, runway
and
7
we
right,
have a restriction
center maintain
of
6,000.
11,000, above
Left turn
11,000.
060 down
So
to
enter that restriction here, so we'll start with the dash
And flight 5266, the center maintain 6,000.
above,
6,000 model G
and
6266.
right select key 1.
Oh, you're fine.
The next point is rugged. Rugged is north 41, 08.1, and west 111, 46.0.
Walker 415, contact Denver Center 118.5 sub.
No restriction on rugged. Next waypoint is
118.57, 1857.
north 41, 23.2, and west 111, 42.3. Let's select T3, and the last one is soggy, so that is north 41. No restrictions on any of these except on Bobby.
Walker 415, Denver Center, same for level 200.
47.5 and west 111.
Yeah, 1903, contact NorCal approach 121.3.
And that box there. And then we have Holter, so I just enter Holter straight away. Holter.
Aspen Towers, Skywest 4745 is holding
Yeah,
short
the
runway
arrival
33
for
on
Kbil.
Alpha, ready to depart.
Skywest 4745, Aspen Tower, runway 33, clear for takeoff, wind 1605.
Clear for takeoff, runway 33, Skywest 4745.
So Holter, and then
NorCal approaching at 1903, waves 1166, and we have Foxtrot.
1903, NorCal approach, taking for Foxtrot, San Francisco altimeter 2992. Expect the visual approach, runway 1 enter right.
Okay, we'll expect the visual for 1 enter right, United 1903.
It is the first time I've ever seen San Francisco land south.
Yeah, that's why I flew, man. It looks sweet.
so we have the Yellowstone. Jekyll, you did not enter Jekyll in here. So Jacob is here, Jacob, and the restriction is 15,000 feet above. So slash, because altitude comes here and then speed comes here. So anything after the dash, we will add the dash first and then 15,000 above. And route discontinuity,
But then tower, that's now 5 Golf Charlie, clear of active, taxi to the FBO.
And that is the route. So now I can activate this. It should make this. You would check it normally on the ND, but I've flown this, so I'll make this permanent and execute. That turns to magenta. So now we have the route. Let's see the speeds. We have the speeds now because we entered the runway, and we'll enter these V speeds, so they should now be on the PFD.
North Penn Tower, Skylane 735 Golf Charlie, clear the active, taxi to the FBO.
75 Golf Charlie, taxi parking via Bravo, minutes frequency.
Bravo with you for 5 Golf Charlie.
Let us now review the checks. Pre-flight oxygen tested. Flight instruments, we'll set this to runway heading, which is 163. And we can turn on LNAV and BNAV since we have the FMC programmed. Flight instruments is checked. Parking brake, we'll set that. Parking brake is set. Check.
Galaxy 4745, Aspen departure.
Aspen departure for 4745.
And before start, flight deck door. Flight deck door is
Fox, connecting tower 120.9er.
But
20.9, German Fox, be good.
So if you see
And
the
flight
door,
5266, turn right heading 070, just going to maintain 3000. Phoenix Airport will be at 12 o'clock,
door.
12 miles.
so go to the menu, this actions, doors, close.
Right turn 070 down to 3000 and flight 5266.
And arm.
Verify you said 070?
070 and flight
And call up the
5266.
jetway.
Phoenix Tower, King Air to Romeo Fox, jet in for 7 right, 4 out.
King Air 2 minutes, Fox, Phoenix Tower, 7 right, land, 1 calm.
Run 7 right, sounds 40
Let's
to Romeo Fox.
remove the chocks.
Don't start. Yeah, flight 5266, field, 12 o'clock, 10 miles.
Inside and flight
Here's
5266.
CBB2.
Yeah, flight 5266, clear visual approach, 7 right, contact Phoenix Tower, 120.9er.
Speed, so we go to
Visual approach 7 right, Phoenix Tower
speed
120.9 and flight 5266.
174.
Galaxy 4745, Aspen.
Skyward 4745, 13,500, climbing 16,000.
Galaxy 4745, Aspen,
also
departure, radar contact, climb maintain for level 210.
Take out speeds we have.
Maintain flight level 210, Skyward 4745.
Now to set the trim, I'll have to turn on the hydraulics first. So starting with the right electric demand, and then the left electric demand, and then the center demand pumps, and then the center primary pumps. I can also turn on the fuel pumps.
Phoenix Tower, good day, and flight 5266, visual 7
So you
right.
see how that changed to on. Once the engine starts running, these lights should go off.
Yeah, flight 5266, contact, correction, it's flight
And now I can set
5266.
for the trim 5.5.
Phoenix Tower, runway 7 right, clear to land, 1 calm.
7 right, clear to land, and flight 5266, I think I said Aspen Tower.
Trim is set. Taxi and takeoff. Probably will get hotel, Accor Hotel 216 left. Now we can turn on the
Walker
beacon
380
light.
Denver Center, roger.
That was a closed loop check, so that has completed the checklist.
Can you turn me a boxes off?
Turn on traffic.
Here, Terry Fox, taxi to the cutter via hotel, monitor ground 122.55, see you about.
Alright, going to ground, we'll monitor it,
Our
and
spot
have a good
code
night,
is
buddy.
3045, so I'll set that 3045. And turn on the transponder. Let's just test that.
TCAS test. Pass.
Alright. Take off the parking brakes. And set the auto brake to RTO. And that shows on the ICAS auto brake RTO. And we can start our pushback now, facing the north. So turn on the taxi light. And as we push, I can start up the engines. So starting engine 1, we'll turn the start switch to start. The N1 and 2 start to spin. And let us introduce the fuel. Around 33 and 2, the fuel flow should start.
Walker 169 Denver Center, roger.
And there's the fuel flow. Start engine number 2.
Scouts 4745, contact Denver Center 118.57.
118.57, Skywest 4745, see you.
Yeah, to 1903, contact NorCal approach 135.1.
I can switch to ground
30.1,
frequency,
yeah, to
which
1903.
is 123.775.
Tower M flight, City 266, we're off at hotel, looking to park somewhere off hotel here.
Walker 415, contact Denver approach 120.35.
That's the
And flight 5266, taxi to parking via hotel, monitor ground 132.55. See you, buddy.
Altimeter right 020 down to 3000, United 1903.
Denver approach, Walker 415 at flight level 200.
Walker 415, Denver approach, Denver altimeter 3011. Fly present heading, that's going to be vectors, let's see, parking a signature tonight, where are you going?
turn off the dome lights.
Signature works, Walker 415.
Walker 415, roger, V, visual approach runway 17 right, descend and maintain 5000.
Before taxi.
We're going to be flying present heading, vectors for the visual at 17 right, descend and maintain 15,000, Walker 415.
And we'll call for taxi. Salt Lake ground, Delta 232 request taxi.
Delta 232, Salt Lake ground, runway 16 left, taxi via hotel.
Runway 16 left, taxi via hotel, Delta 232. And ground equipment is clear. Let's increase the throttle to about 25, 26.
Gas 4745, not a problem, Denver Center, climb maintain 230.
So it's hotel all the way.
Walker 415, descend and maintain 10,000.
Descend and maintain 10,000, Walker 415.
I can set the flaps to 15, which are our takeoff flaps. So that's magenta 15. So he advised us to maintain 230 knots until advised.
Walk 3, that's approved.
So you can see the annunciations on the PFD and
19032, that right turn heading 160, field to be at your 1 o'clock, 12 miles.
160 and we have the field, United 1903.
We'll hold short here. We did not get the there it is, the cabin ready, and I'll turn on the landing lights. Let's turn over to tower, which is 119.05. And I will let them know we are holding short 16 left. Salt Lake Tower, Delta 232, holding short 16 left.
Delta 232, Salt Lake Tower, flighting 295, runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff, wind 17017.
Fly heading 285, cleared for takeoff 16 left, United Delta 232. So 285 after takeoff, alright. Let's get going. Approach path is clear. And we can see on the ICAS ATO, which means APU takeoff.
Approaching 16 left.
Checked. So what I'm looking for is the central line to be between the PFD or ND.
Scouts 4745, send to maintain, flow level 190, contact Denver, approach 120.35.
And if I look at the end of the central line,
left.
that should be moving down between the PFD and ND, and then I know I am on the central line. Okay, so after takeoff we will increase speed to 230 knots and turn right 285. Let's bring the throttle to 50 and 1. And it's stable. Press toga. Thrust ref on the PFD. Speed is increasing. 80 knots.
10% over, hello, Skywest 4745 out of flight level 220, descending 210.
Winds are now displayed on the ND.
Correction.
Scouts 4745, Denver approach, roger.
And San Francisco Tower, United 1903 is clear on golf.
D1.
United 19 is 03, tax park will be a Golf Alpha, mounted at ground, point 8.
Okay, Dolphin Alpha, monitor ground, United 1903.
Positive rate, gear up. And flaps set to 5. I will increase speed to 230. We'll turn on the autopilot. And turn right to 285. We can turn off the taxi and the turn off lights. That says on the departure procedure, climbing right turn clockwise until advised by ATC before we proceed to Bobby. Let's check the checklists before takeoff is complete, so I'll override that. Checklist override. After takeoff, flaps crossing 5.
Scouts 4745, to maintain 10,000, Denver altimeter 3011.
10,000, Skywest 4745.
Waiting for them.
Delta 232, contact Denver, correction, contact Salt Lake City departure.
Switching to departure, Delta 232. So now we'll switch to departure, 135.5.
Scouts 4745, advise you of Oscar at Denver, you can expect the visual approach runway 16 left.
That's your advice from Oscar, and expect visual 16 left, Skywest 4745.
I will contact departure now. Salt Lake departure, Delta 232, maintaining flight level 10,000.
Delta 232, Salt Lake departure, radar contact, climb maintain for level 230.
Climb maintain flight level 230, Delta 232. So we will increase that. Press the alt select, and that changes to thrust ref and VNAV, and it should start to climb.
Skywest 4745 has Oscar.
Still we are proceeding to Bobby, and I can retract the last stage of flaps. We are since at 10,000, I can turn off the landing lights. And you can see here, now the APU is supplying the air conditioning. Okay, so if we were on the ground with the APU running, the air conditioning would be supplied by the APU and the engines would be providing full thrust. But now we do not need takeoff thrust, so it's back to normal, so I can turn off the APU. And let's turn on the dome
Walk
lights.
415, exit right at Mike 5, taxi to parking, taxi to the signature via Mike 5 and Lima 1. Monitor ground 121.85, see ya.
Taxi via Mike 5, Lima 1, Walker 415, over to signature. Appreciate it.
Checklist
Delta 232, clear direct Bubby and join the Rugged 1 departure.
Clear direct Bubby and join the Rugged 1 departure, Delta 232.
Walker 169, descend via the Ski 1 arrival.
So what
Runway
we do now
16
is
left
go
transition,
direct
the
to
Denver
leg
altimeter
stage.
3011.
Put Bubby here, and then again that creates a direct line to Bubby, and click execute, and then we'll turn on the LNAV. That has engaged the LNAV and the aircraft will now go direct to Bubby. We are clear of the restriction above 11,000 feet above, so that should not be a problem. So you see data, if I turn off data, that displays the would display the ET and things like that. And we have proximity traffic 1,000 feet below us. 1,000, since we are climbing, the distance, the altitude distance is increasing from us. So it just passed right in front, I think, yeah, over there at my 12 o'clock. So you can see those traffic. Since we are pretty high now, the highest terrain is 13,000. I can turn off terrain, reduce the clutter on the screen, and you can see the timings to each of these waypoints because of the data switch turned on. Our final altitude was 310. So it will clear us later. Now it has cleared us to flight level 230.
Delta 232, resume normal speed.
Resume normal speed, Delta 232. Alright, so now what we'll do is just blank this, and that should increase the speed to 320 knots. Now it's adjusting the pitch to pitch for that while also climbing. You can see 16 left on the ND there. You're coming on the opposite path 34.
Denver approach, good evening. Skywest 4745 is on the heading 353. 10,000.
Walk 325, Denver Center, roger. Skywest 4745, Denver approach, Denver at altimeter 3011. Now descend and maintain 8,000.
8,000, Skywest 4745.
Straight ahead, 9,000 feet below us, and I can set this to standard by clicking standard. That changes it to standard. So that was the traffic advisory, traffic with a yellow display on the ND. If it was a resolution advisory, it would be a red one, and it would give us instructions like increase vertical speed or decrease vertical speed or so on. So now it's back to normal 1800 feet per minute, and we are at 320. We have the progress to our next waypoint, the ETA in Zulu, and we have the billings at 0450 Zulu.
Delta 232, contact Salt Lake Center 128.72.
Contact Salt Lake Center 128.72 Delta 232. So I switch to 128.72. And switch that to the active frequency, Salt Lake Center 128. So Salt Lake Center Delta 232 passing flight level 220, climbing flight level 230.
Delta 232, Salt Lake Center, climb maintain for level 310.
Climb maintain flight level 310 Delta 232. So now I can increase that up further to 310. Click the climb button.
Scouts 4745, turn right heading 160. The field will be at your 1 o'clock, 15 miles, port in sight.
I press this again.
Scouts 4745, cleared visual approach, runway 16 left.
It has to go back to its climb thrust again. Continue climbing. So if you go to the init ref and see the thrust limit of climb, that's 98.1. So to keep it at 98.1 thrust ref. So looking at the progress page, we have 296 nautical miles to go to Billings Logan, Kbil. I have to go to VNAV. Economy climb speed is 320. If I go to cruise, that's cruise. Once we are leveled up, it will automatically switch to the cruise page 2x3. And then descent. In the descent, I want 300 knots. I want to be slow, so I will enter 300 in that. 300 and set that. So the FMS will automatically maintain 300 knots on the descent. Execute. Arriving whole turn, there's our top of climb, about 10 nautical miles ahead of us. That's 20 nautical miles, this will be 40, so half of 20 is 10 here. "26 minutes into our flight. Navrat should still be on ILS, should still be on park since we haven't chosen the ILS. I could manually enter the ILS frequency, but we'll let the FMC do that. So if I want to do a direct descent to the FAF from 31,000 feet to 6,000 feet, I would have to start out 95 nautical miles. So what I'm going to do is, to remind me, I will create a radius around Kbil, so I can know my limits, and in case the tower does not, in case the approach does not clear as per the descent, I can call him and remind him for that. So for safety, I'll just add 5 nautical miles more and give it a distance of 100, and that should create a radius around that. So if we zoom out, there is the radius around Kbil, and it's close to the top of the descent point, as you can see, calculated by the FMC. I can set it up for the approach. So looking here, we have at Kbil expected to have 135 tons of fuel remaining, so 135, and then we go to init ref index, we go to performance, R0 fuel weight is 185, so 135 plus 185 is 320. 320 should be our weight at Kbil, and we are approaching to land. So we'll go to the init ref again, and then go, so it opens the approach ref automatically, and it's showing gross weight of 323 calculated. I'm going to put in 320, and that gives us 173 knots with flaps 30. So I'll just select that, right select key 3, and then enter that into flap speed. That should set up the VREF on the PFD. So what I can do is set the radio with this 250 as the height, so I'll switch this to radio. That should bring the radio display. Okay, once I start rotating this knob now, so looking at the PFD, that's 200, I'll bring it to 250, drag it to rotate it faster. Going too fast, let's bring it down to 250 radio altimeter. Okay, 250. So if you now check the navrad, it should already be tuned in. Maybe have part still not active. 111.5 the localizer, and 278 is the old approach course. Now it's 282. Once we pass our top of descent point, we will see a vertical deviation indicator on the ND and on the PFD display. That tells us how far are we from our vertical profile. Automatically tune now to Kbil POR, and we can see the localizer now displayed on the PFD, and that is automatic. And there is the vertical deviation, and you can see now we are high from the profile. That's what according to the profile calculated by the FMC. We can request our descent now, passing Jacob. If he does not call us, and I can see a 400 feet from the calculated profile. Salt Lake Center, Delta 232, request descent.
Delta 232, descend and maintain flight level 240.
Descend and maintain flight level 240, Delta 232. And I hit that. Thrust should go to idle. And since we have chosen 300 as the descent speed, that should automatically be set by the MCP. Now we're catching up with the profile. $2,000 feet to go. Landing checklist. Speed brake, landing gear, flaps. Cabin ready. Let's turn on the localizer. I can put this to 5,000 feet. And once we're on the ground and we exit the runway, I'll turn on the APU, so that once we reach the gates, I will shut down the engines and the APU supplies, then the electrics and the air conditioning. Runway turn off lights turned on. Leveling off at 5,000, speed should start bleeding.
Delta 232, contact Billings Tower 127.2.
Contact Billings Tower, Delta 232. 127.2. Billings Tower, Delta 232 on the ILS for 28 right.
Delta 232 Billings Tower, runway 28 right, clear to land, wind 2107.
Clear to land, 28 right, Delta 232.
Walker 380, descend and maintain 8,000 and fly present heading vectors visual approach, runway 17 right.
And approach.
Walker 380.
Once that catches that, I can lower the gear. And auto land. It's 20.
1,000.
Speed brakes armed. And ground is 1 to 1.9.
Approaching 28 right.
Checklist is complete. Maps going to 30.
Terrain.
I could inhibit that, but that's alright.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. Sink rate. 10.
Too late. Warning. Autopilot disconnect. Taking manual braking.
Feet remaining.
Walker 380, the field is 12 o'clock. That's 6 miles port to field in sight.
Field in sight, 430.
Walker 380, cleared visual approach, runway 17 right, contact at Denver Tower 133.3.
Clear visual approach 17 right and 133.3, Walker 380. Denver Tower, Walker 380, inbound visual 17 right.
Walker 380, Denver Tower, runway 17 right, clear to land, wind 200 at 11.
Okay, runway 17 right, clear to land, Walker 380.
And now I would contact ground and I would turn on the APU and then taxi over to the gate, so the rest of it is just that.
Delta 232, taxi to terminal via Alpha, cross runway 25 at Alpha, monitor ground point 9, we'll see you.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha, cross 25 via Alpha. See you. Have a good night. And monitor ground, he said, so 1 to 1.9. So I'll turn right on Alpha here. Turn on the APU. And switch to ground.
Approaching 25.
You want to go on 25, want to go on Alpha. Just turning on to Alpha. And APU is pulling up. Once we are at the gates, I can shut off the engines, and then the APU takes over. I would turn off the beacon lights. We can clear the caution. And it says
clearance,
auto
TBM
brake,
780, Mike, looking to
disarm.
pick up IFR to Jackson Hole.
That's on disarm, that's why. So once I switch it to off, that message should go off. So there it goes off. Cancel recall. On the throttle I can press this to disconnect to clear the message, and that clears the message. So for the autopilot you would clear the message by pressing the auto throttle
Number 780, Mike on request.
button again. That's it for that. Now we should get the message APU running. Still not. We can check the status page. it still has to reach the 100 RPM, and we have the AP running now. You can turn off the landing lights, turn on the taxi. I'll turn on the nose landing lights. It's not too bright here, that's why. And we can shut down the engines. So APU has taken over from the engines, and that's that. Beacon light turned off, wing lights off. So that's it. Shut down brake temperature pretty hot it should be, because that was very fast.